I have a bar of gold that I can hit like these aliens over the head with, and that would be really great.
You can see the ground going by. Imagine watching a movie on an airplane on a 100-foot screen.
That's right, baby, we prepared.
It's that time of the week again. Happy Saturday morning. If you are watching on a Saturday morning, I hope you're enjoying your coffee. It was 4.6 billion, Sean, worth of Bitcoin ETFs traded in day one.
Wow.
I thought that's kind of high. 4.6 billion turnover.
Yeah.
Notional turnover, obviously. Yeah, we get Bitcoin ETFs. I don't know if
people want to buy Bitcoin.
I don't know if that matters at all, but
I thought it was pretty cool that we had Raheem on today, and he talked about how some of these ETFs are going no fee for the first little while.
Yeah.
Was it the Van Eck? It was ARK. ARK was Kathy for sure. I think that's interesting. Today was an interesting day. Congratulations, everybody. We knew this day was going to happen. It happened. Well, today's Thursday, of course. People will be watching this on Saturday. Happy weekend to everybody.
Yeah.
What's your Saturday morning routine, by the way?
Coffee as soon as possible.
Right. Are you still getting up at the same time on Saturdays? Because I find like
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Now that you're
what does that look like though for you? Like as far as time, like 6:30?
No.
8?
Yeah, 7.
7.
That's pretty much every day 7. The problem really is the kids. It's like I hear them.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, I'm not like a super heavy sleeper, but I can sleep through. But like if I hear the kids are up in the bathroom or something like that and blah, 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 it's like, oh my God, they're awake. And I'm worried about, okay, they're awake. Are they on their iPhones? Are they on their iPads? Are they breaking rules?
Yeah.
Are they going down to the kitchen? Are they eating us out of house and home? Which they do anyways. But yeah, Saturday morning, it's a good one. We have a couple plans. We're away this week. But yeah, if you guys are watching us, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's get this podcast going. It was a very fun day today. BTC started it, nice move up to 49,000, then back down to 46. It was a wild move. What I take from all of this is it wasn't really a sell the news event.
No.
I mean, it was pretty violent. Coinbase didn't have a great day, down 7%. And you guys know that I've been pretty bearish on that. I turned bullish earlier today, though, Brendo. I had it as a long on the sticky note, and it didn't work out.
I'm a little surprised on the price action, though, as far as these ETFs are concerned. You said, Bitcoin itself held up. Spoiler alert: we're recording this on Thursday, so they all finished down on day number 1 from when they actually opened. It was interesting to me as well in the pre-market which ones popped up first. So we got the Grayscale doing the most.
BRR.
Yeah, BRR.
BRR. The cash machine go burr on that?
IVIT is BlackRock's. It was active very, very early on. I just checked before we started this, but it was about 36 million shares traded of the BlackRock ETF when all is said and done. Day number 1, which is high to me, I thought.
I mean, I didn't really have any number expectations on how much volume these would do or the notional number that you gave or anything. But like, here's Bitcoin on the screen right here. It touches up to 48.6, basically that high, 48.650, and then drops immediately down into 45 and seems to want to hold. This is just an hour chart. I like this $45,000 area. I just feel like if you're going to try to play some Bitcoin, you might as well do that. And then I've always said, like, why bother to hold? Does this kind of, Brennan, solve the whole, like, I'm worried about holding my coins on exchange now and all that kind of stuff? Because the only disadvantage that I can see from just holding an ETF would be the fact that you can't get out of it on the weekend. But if you're not an active crypto bug, like, you don't trade in and out of these things, then I feel like, you'd want to hold it maybe into your, in Canada here, maybe a tax-free savings account, so that when it doubles and things like that, you're not paying the tax man. But I like the fact that now we can put it into these registered accounts. It's an ETF. We can trust that it's going to be managed properly. And hey, will Coinbase benefit from this or not? It seems like it's going to be a no for today. I thought all the volume coming through on Coinbase would have been nice. I mean, check out this chart here, Ramin, if we have a second there. We just looked at Bitcoin. But look at this. Just kept on falling pretty much all day. And we found a base here at 140. But the same still stays true for Coinbase. This high right there of 160, it hit it today and fell right back in. So I think Coinbase loses this. It's just like that Uber trade. We talk about it all the time. And what that is you buy the dips, hoping that there's a tailwind in some action. And we had that action with this announcement. And now I just feel like Coinbase probably back down to the downside. We'll wait for their earnings, which I'm not sure when that is. I will double check that immediately, and we'll wait. There it is. It is, I have it up on here right now, February 20th post-market for Coinbase.
Still a ways to go. I saw a note from JP Morgan today that was kind of interesting as well, pointing to inflows because of these ETFs. And they kind of pointed out BITO, which is one we've mentioned numerous times as well, BITO and Coinbase.
Let's see what that one's doing.
So JP Morgan saying or suggesting that 36 billion worth of inflows is potential into these ETFs now that they are live. And they just, I mean, I read through it a couple of times because I didn't really understand it at first, but they were just pointing to rotation specifically. And it kind of goes back to what you were suggesting in the sense that, do we see more activity in the actual coins because of these, or do we see more activity now shift over to the ETFs because of these? And you highlighted a good point there in the sense that the weekend is going to be an issue because Bitcoin, hey, guess what? Trades 24 hours and has moved significantly on the weekend. Question for you. We've had these purpose ETFs.
Yeah, we're still in those.
Yeah,
I'm still in those.
You mentioned Raheem coming by this morning talking about a 1% fee on the purpose ETFs for anyone in the US that's watching this. Purpose ETF is BTCC here in Toronto. We've had these for a few years now that we've been able to put some money in and get exposure to the crypto markets.
You're asking if I'm switching over?
Exactly. Do these fees now being so much lower on some of these US-based ones get you to?
I don't have enough money in them. I was actually thinking about that with Brent. I knew exactly, as soon as you started, I was like, I know this is where he's going with it, so we'll get it out. No, I don't think so. I mean, 1%. You know, Brendan, like if I was putting in there 50 grand or something like that, like I don't have that much in those ETFs or anything like that. But I think if I did 1%, sure, $500, maybe it makes a little bit of a difference. The best ETF I thought we saw was about 0.3, all said and done at some point. I think that's going to be the ARC one. No, not really. Like I said, I think if you're in and out of trading it, then maybe you worry about the fees. But why are these ETFs created? I mean, you know, Van Eck and BlackRock and all that, they're just going to make money off these. They're going to charge you a fee. They're going to hopefully bring people in with this no-fee sort of holiday for the first 3 months. They'll come into the portfolio and people will just hold it. It's very, very funny. Let me tell you a stat that I heard the other day, and that is that the SPY, the average hold period on the SPY was something like 17 days. The average person holds it because it's more known as a trading instrument. Right. People use it for options. People use it to maybe hedge positions, so on and so forth. You ever heard of VOO before?
Yeah, that's the Vanguard one.
Exactly. Yeah. So the Vanguard one, do you know its average? So I'm throwing you under the bus here because there's no way you're going to get this. Okay, Brendo? I'm not even going to ask you.
Volume, you mean?
You want me to ask you what the average holding period on that is?
Oh, no, I have no idea.
220 something days.
Right.
So it's just, why is that though? Like, that's what I mean. I don't really know why that is for that particular scale, but at the same time, one of these is going to be that, one's going to be something else, right? So you move over from GBTC maybe in the United States or BITO into these other ETFs. Let's just follow the volume and trade the ones that are the most active. And I'm happy to do that because on our show, Trader TV Live, make sure you check that out every single day as we go live at 8:30. Just more options for day traders like us to trade. And to me, that's what it's all about. And they're going to come out at different prices. Remember, the thing is like we always get that question, Brendo, why does Sean trade TQQ versus SQQ? They're different prices as well. You know, one being $40, one being $15. I feel like it would be smart for some of these ETFs, and again, without having them all in front of me to see the current pricing, I feel like it's smarter to price them lower to get more people trading them. Yeah. We're going to talk about NVIDIA, but imagine that splits 5-1, Brendo, and becomes a $100 stock. Like, I never even looked at Amazon when it was $2 grand, $3 grand. Right. The minute they split it up, now we have, you know, Obi on the floor. It's his favorite stock. Another perfect example of that is Google. When that split from thousands into the hundreds, Tesla, you know, all of a sudden Tesla just keeps on doing that. But that just creates more action, more volume. So I look to trade probably the cheaper name. You can use more shares, use less capital. Let's go, man. We like Bitcoin.
I was going to mention that in the sense that they all come out at very different prices. Some in the 40s,
Yep,
some in
yep.
the 20s. There was a couple that I saw were 14.
That's the one I like,
at
baby,
the
whatever
end of
that
the
is.
day. But how are we, like, I guess it's going to take some time here to kind of iron out where they should actually be trading in relation to the spot price of Bitcoin.
Why, though? I feel like they should just be trading spot.
I mean more from a volatility standpoint
against each other?
and also from a liquidity standpoint,
Right.
because I feel like a lot of the moves, specifically the ones that we saw today, was more a liquidity thing than anything else.
I mean, everything sort of fell down off the open. I just feel like it's way too early days.
Yeah, of course.
Unfortunately, I should have done some studies like, when they release certain ETFs, how did they trade in the first couple of days? I feel like we'll just let those settle down and then we'll go. My whole thing about Bitcoin is like, people aren't trading out of it. Like there's something like 70% of the wallets are just idle.
Yeah.
Like, and now these give you opportunities to trade in and out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of the time I feel like we hear stories like, oh, Mark Cuban just lost $500 million in crypto because his Meta wallet was compromised, or he sent it to a bad link or something like that. I just feel like there's so much negativity right now. And even when I talk to my friends or people that maybe don't even know that much about crypto, they're so scared about it because it's so hard it's not hard to get into Coinbase and buy.
Right.
But people think that there's that extra layer there.
Yeah.
Now that you can log into your trading account, whatever it is, your IBKR, just type in ARK.B or whatever for ARKB, and you get that, boom, it's in your account. It's just as easy as buying Apple.
Exactly.
I think that's a gateway to acceptance of Bitcoin, people talking about it more, people holding it more. I think this is a huge, look, there's only 21 million coins going to be mined. At some point, Bitcoin, although maybe never going to be classified, and we heard the SEC say this, they're not classifying it as an asset class.
No.
They're not saying this is a safe investment, but the SEC should never say that anyways.
Why would they?
Right, like what, are they going to come out and say Carvana is a safe investment? Like honestly, there's a certain point where you're just going to have to take...
Beyond?
Right. Why? But they're not, we're all worried about, the price of Bitcoin. You have a stock like Mullen that's reverse split like 10 times.
Everybody loves it.
So let's just stay the course here. I think it's a great day for Bitcoin. But remember when Coinbase IPO'd? That was the top. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of traders very, very... Are you nervous?
It brings up a good point. And about Bitcoin, no.
What are you nervous about?
Nothing, Sean.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing.
You're young.
Young. I'm, 8 months younger than you?
Shut up. Just answer the question. What do you...
ARKB ends the day about 6 million.
Now I feel bad. This guy's actually younger than me.
IBIT.
Can you be 8 months older than me? IBIT, that's the one with the most volume today?
36.
Let me look at this chart.
Far,
IBIT.
by far the most volume. So people like...
And look how consistent it was. If you come over to the chart, it was pretty dead on right in the whole afternoon. $26. That's nice. The thing about this name was it was halted before. It must have been a symbol in the past, this IBIT. But you're going to see that's BlackRock's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is right there. iShares Bitcoin Trust, it says. Yeah, managed by BlackRock. So, yeah, maybe that's the one that we choose.
Do you want to talk about this debacle that happened leading up to this as far as the SEC is concerned? I mean, the handling or the way this was handled.
Remember we had Kevin O'Leary on. He was like, you know what? They're 0 for 3 trying to get this through. They're going to be 0 for 4. They weren't. You knew it was going to get approved. We had talked about this for a while, that this was going to get approved.
Of course it was.
Everyone was loaded up, ready to go. Yeah. Coinbase was already running. Like, everybody knew
Bitcoin itself
all about this. Bitcoin was moving up. I just feel like it would have been completely disastrous if that not had happened. But the thing is, the SEC, like... Do you believe that they don't have two-factor authentication on?
It's so embarrassing that
That can't be true. Was that the story? Did they ever come out and officially say?
I mean, I think people actually assumed that. How is this not someone that works there? Of course it's someone.
I know. Neil did all that stuff on yesterday, talking about how to prepare for these things and how to be your safety and all that. And I feel like it was a great segment, but it's just like, I think that was BS. I just feel like somebody was paid to do something there, blame something,
and then 24 hours later, miraculously.
Well, I was talking with Wayne. I mean, you could have played options. There are some Bitcoin exchanges and whatnot that have 3 times the product, so a levered Bitcoin. Or they could have just been testing to see the elasticity of the move. Like, when we announce that it's accepted, which way are we going to go? So then we'll be able to judge that. Then when it's officially announced, then we'll be able to find out. I just do not, this is not even a tin hat thing. It's just like, come on, man. Honestly, like my kids have two-factor authentication on.
It's not complicated.
Like, and they even ask you, like, when you sign up, they're like, okay, get your cell phone, like,
Make sure you confirm the email.
Yeah, you can use email, phone numbers, Google authenticators. There's so many of them.
You and I were sitting here on Wednesday
really-
when it
really
does
stupid,
actually then go through.
Yeah.
And they screw that up as well. It was
Yeah,
350 or 355. It shows up on the website, on the SEC website, and then they take it down again because it's not 4 o'clock, I guess. So I don't know who's.
But that's what I'm
operating their
saying.
social
Like,
media.
remember we were on there and we were asking there the other day, is it going to happen in the middle of the day? Is it going to happen at the end of the day? Why don't they just say at 4:15, like we're having
We'll
a
make
press
decision.
conference?
Exactly. It's just a mess.
You know how much money I pay every year, every month, every day to the damn SEC for these SEC fees?
Yeah.
You know, and they can't get this figured out. Anyways, I love you, SEC.
It's done. Congratulations, everyone has Bitcoin ETFs to trade and to look at and to invest in if you so be. Or
So I do
so
think
feel
we
like
pulled. I do think. Before you probably don't ask me this question, I think here, if you come over to the screen just real quick, I just want to give people an idea because there's going to be a lot of traders here that are saying, okay, they're talking about Bitcoin, that's great, but what is really their opinion? I've already given it. I think this is a little bit of a sell see a cat. I think this is a little bit of a sell the situation event, sell the news event. It's been such a dramatic run up, and I'm always kind of like a catalyst guy. So if we just come over to the chart, it's just really, really simple. I just think in and around here, I think we'll test 40 again at some point. And then I just think it's a buy there against this 35. Like I really like Bitcoin. I really think there's a chance for it to go. You can go over a weekly chart of this. It just looks great. I mean, you're bouncing its head off 48,000. Now we have the catalyst. There's 50. Imagine when we take 50. I mean, that next stop is 60, and then all of a sudden you have, you know, blue skies when you take out that 66.50, and then we go from there. It's an amazing story.
much needed.
Imagine if, you know, economics was actually working the way it's supposed to with supply and demand. No, because at some point, like I'm saying,
What world is it?
I don't know, maybe Fabian knows. I don't know how many Bitcoins are mined to date, but at some point they're going to be they're running out. So if people start to believe in this, people will buy it. It's that simple. NFTs are not worth anything unless someone wants to buy it off you. You know, we have people here that collect wine or fine art. You know, Brendan, a bottle of wine's not worth anything until you find someone that's willing to pay you for it.
Right.
So that's it. At some point, there's going to be Kathy Wood's going to talk about Bitcoin.
The difference, I think, in this case is you can touch wine, you can smell wine, you can taste wine, you can see it sitting on your table. I think a lot of people specifically, and you pointed to, you know, the ones that are not necessarily
Right.
in this
There's a lack of
on a
understanding.
daily basis, don't really get what it is or don't really see the thing at this point.
Okay.
And there is an argument to be made to the point of what is the thing that it's supposed to do?
How much gold is in Fort Knox right now? I'm just saying, like, there's a certain thing where people are investing in gold because it's
again,
a hedge.
it's material.
Like people,
You could put a gold bar on this
Right.
desk. You could touch it,
Right.
you could feel it.
Right.
You could say, this is not.
that's not gold, but
No,
yeah.
It'd be nice if it was.
Yeah, no, I get it, but who cares? But like, people don't invest in gold because they own bars of gold.
But that's what creates the, I'm unsure about this.
Right, like if the world comes to a complete end, I have a bar of gold that I can hit like these aliens over the head with, and that would be really great. But at the end of the day, you know, gold prices, like if they announced all of a sudden, somehow they could figure out that there's no more gold available
In the world.
period. They figured it out. Okay, Elon sent something up in the sky that scanned the whole world all the way down to the core, and there is no more gold.
If anyone's going to do it,
He probably already did this.
It's
Price
gonna
of
be-
gold goes ballistic, right?
definitely.
Okay, well, that's going to happen to Bitcoin. So, all right.
You heard it first. I want to touch on this
Or not.
economic data this week because we got a ton of it, and it was surprising in a few sense. This is broken down by individual portion
Oh, yes.
of the CPI. So it's a good look at what is still a problem
I have to
and,
call that
and
up.
what is improving. So Shelter, obviously, the big sticking point. If you missed it, inflation comes out higher than expected, 3.4% versus 3.1% expected. It's shelter, it's food, and it's energy. The three that are a problem still and have been.
No. Energy.
Energy was down a little bit, but it's still the highest as far as what is making up the positive side. So on this chart, obviously, above the line is, or above zero is positive, below zero is negative. So nothing is going down at this point. It's all positive. I made the point with Frank going back to Thursday afternoon show. Are we actually sitting here nitpicking about 0.1, 0.2, 0.3?
Yes, but that's the job of
one way or another.
Yes.
It's not 9% anymore. Yes, it's not 2% either, but it's comfortable. And he used the word comfortable, and shout out to Frank. It's comfortable for the market. It's comfortable for investors. It's not comfortable if you go to the grocery store still.
Right.
But as far as the overall market is concerned.
Unless you have an egg guy. We talked about that with you.
Exactly.
Still haven't told me
as
who
far
that
as
is.
the market is concerned, I don't think anyone cares anymore.
Well, look at today. Perfect example, but I think it's perfect example.
Positive. Yeah.
I mean, the market was down 1%. Oh my God, the sky's falling. What are we going to do? CPI is higher than expected, and then all of a sudden the market winds up green. So I just think, like we always say this, the ball don't lie, and that's like when you get fouled in basketball or something, and you don't get the call, and then the other guy throws it out of bounds by accident, and then it's your ball anyways.
Accident.
Right, and they just say stuff like that. So my big concern with the number 10, I still have that same graph up. It's just like shelter, they can't fix that problem.
No.
I mean, it's like
they could make more houses, but
and they're trying to. When we talked about that, Lennar, you had a great trade on that. KB Homes, a lot of these things going upside, and then we had Warren Buffett starting to get involved with some of the housing names as well. Oh, I tweeted something out today. I'm going to go
just before you get to that.
Because Meister, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to highlight the fact that, and you mentioned energy, not necessarily huge on this, but if you go back to the past two prints, and I think that's the bigger point here, energy was actually negative.
Right.
The past two prints, and then this one back to positive. So going from something that was helping ease the number to something that's adding to the total again. So anyway.
Every time we go, I think it's been like something like 8 straight months, prices at the pump are going to the downside. So what else do we expect? It's like when you and Frank said we're at a comfortable level, people complain when prices go one way. They complain. We have like people saying, well, what about disinflation now? You know, there's going to be a lot of these factors that are going to have to hit. And I just, like Fed's Mester today, it's right on my screen here. We don't want to see progress in inflation stall out because they want to continue to go to the downside, right? But however, this report that we got today does not suggest this, right, on inflation. We need to see housing and goods prices, as you mentioned there at the grocery store, continue to move down. Right? My contacts tell me the labor market not as tight as before. I do want to talk a little bit about the labor market as well. But the whole point is that if they're not there yet, they're not there yet.
Yeah.
And earlier on in the week, we had something say when inflation gets closer to that 2%, which they've identified as the key area, then maybe they will start to look at some of this policy. I don't think they're cutting. We said this last time, man. This is episode 9. We said this episode probably 6, 7, and 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that I was not comfortable with the dot plot and the fact that we were expecting to get 6 rate cuts this year. And in fact, right on cue here, I actually tweeted something out right here, and this was what we're expecting moving forward right now. It's moved now. We only have 5 recommendations for a rate cut starting in March, with 8 of them backfilling back into June.
Yeah.
So I just feel like as we start to change here on the Fed, people are going to hopefully, I actually think it's a good thing if everybody gets on the same page. The Fed has identified possibly 3, maybe 100 basis points, where the market's trying to predict about 150 basis points. Now, I don't know if that number changed today.
It did, actually. We went from, or the total you're referring to. I'm not sure about the actual total, but the percentage.
That's what I'm looking at. What are we looking at for March?
I'll bring it up here in a second. But I wanted to point out the simple fact that the economy is still raging strong.
Yes.
In the sense that if you go back to the last GDP print, it was still 4.3, 4.5, 4.6, whatever it was. So that's not a problem. We just came off a non-farm payrolls print that was higher than expected. Mm-hmm. So that's still a problem from the Fed's perspective, but from the underlying, everybody has a job if they want one.
Yeah.
Why do they have to cut even in March?
They don't. That's very good. They don't have to now.
Exactly.
And I think that's why the market went to the downside. But then it just comes back to that statement that you mentioned again. It's like, if these numbers aren't going to be in favor, then the market should go down, but the market didn't go down. So are we not comfortable knowing that they will eventually cut at some point? We just wait for it. There's nothing wrong with sitting on your hands and buying the best companies at all times. We talked about going through depressions, wars, and all this. At the end of the day, it's still 10%. We'll see if we can get it. My big worry, Brendo, consumer credit. We are expecting the survey. This is from November. 8.6.
That's a problem.
We got 23.8. Look at consumer credit in billions, just ripping
all time
right now. Sorry, this goes back, if you can, 2020, 2020. It just keeps on going higher and higher and higher. So to your point, we all love it when we get that credit card bill. Oh, $800, no problem. I have $800 and I have a job. Well, that's great.
Wait, do we?
The question is, do I still have a job? I don't know, am I trading today? Maybe. No. But the idea behind it all is, what about when that hits and people start to be fearful and stop spending? Retail is pretty hot right now. Walmart was approaching, I have to check what it's at right now, but was near those highs again. Home Depot upgrades. I'm a little worried that we are getting too stretched from a consumer standpoint. And we get raises, we talked about this, real wages going higher, as well as real prices. But when we get raises, man, we spend more money.
Happily.
We love it.
Happily.
We wait. We are a consumption-based economy. The Fed knows that. That's why they're looking at PCE as the core of what they're looking for. I just feel that housing's still a problem. If energy's a problem and we've gone down for 8 straight months, I mean, I don't know. How about talk about this? Breaking news today, Tesla. Having supply chain issues, and Tesla started to go down at the end of the day. We had a big win there at the end of the day. Hallelujah. Man, I hate that stock. Down to 226 right now. But again, if they're having problems, what if all of a sudden, and that's from Tesla. What if Apple themselves start to have problems receiving things?
Contextualize this though, because it was Berlin. So
you said it was 5,000 cars?
Yeah, so Berlin is currently making 5,000 cars a week or thereabouts.
Right.
Which is, yes.
They deliver 1.8 million a year,
It's not nothing.
I know.
It was 200,000 plus, I think, in a month last month.
But it's that canary in the coal mine.
But if Austin is still working, if California is still working, how big of a deal is this? But I mean, it's
not. But
the Red Sea is what it is. We won't jump into the geopolitical side of things, but
we can, because I don't think anything's getting solved anytime soon.
I saw some headlines at the end.
Yeah,
of the
you were
day
mentioning
today,
Yemen and all that. It's going to get worse and
the
worse.
U.S. is going to go solve this overnight, so we'll see what happens.
As far as Tesla stock is concerned, EV space getting hit. We saw Fisker near that $1. We saw Lucid break back down below $4
Lucid's another one.
again.
I mean, delivery numbers this morning, actually, or yesterday morning.
Remember when Rivian
worse than expected?
was
Lucid's
super hot
all-time low, Sean.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Broke through that 375, whatever it was. Rivian back to the 200. Like, there's a lot of problems here in a lot of these names. And I'm just saying, if Tesla, known as, the first, right? Obviously, their production is going to be the best. Their access to supply is probably super high. If they're warning of potential issues, although, like you said, it's only 5,000, it's only the Berlin plant, but what does that mean for everybody else? That's just what I'm looking at. More to come. More to come. Well, maybe we're lucky in the U.S. and Canada being able to produce enough oil to sustain ourselves.
I think so, definitely. And we really haven't seen that side of the equation from this problem hit the market yet. The Red Sea problem and supply coming through.
I cannot believe USO. I mean, oil is still hovering in and around that $70 mark. It's crazy.
Let's go to the other end of the spectrum here. We've had quite the week right across the board for semiconductors and chips.
Ooh, yes.
Specifically, it has been impressive,
wild,
to say the least. For NVIDIA, all-time highs.
Yeah, frustrating today.
Bit of a pullback today, but yeah,
not really. I mean, we pulled that back 548.
Yeah, I mean,
we closed today up. I know.
Crazy.
I actually was going a little crazy today because that 550 is so key. I was just playing around with it too much. It was back and forth, back and forth. Look, man, NVIDIA, it's up 400% from its lows in 2022.
Kramer says it's still undervalued.
It is. That guy named his dog NVIDIA. Then that dog died. He named his other dog NVIDIA as well.
Sharif and I were laughing about this. I checked this afternoon. 71 times its earnings right now.
71 times?
Yeah, NVIDIA. That was at 2 o'clock on Thursday.
Is that a problem? I mean, what
AMD's, I think it was like 1,000 and something.
This
like
is
it's
what I mean.
Astronomical numbers that these things are.
Are we not still early?
In AI, yes. In chips, there's going to be more.
Favorite. Neil mentioned ketchup. What's your favorite? Don't say like the H100.
All dressed.
Oh wow! So you went with something that nobody in the U.S. could get, and so did Neil.
All dressed.
All dressed and
Put
ketchup.
everything in a bag.
Right.
Shake it
That's
up.
what all dressed is. I don't think that's available in the United States.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I kind of like.
I feel like they're.
Thanks for asking me my favorite as well, Brendan. I think I'm going to go with.
Eat chips. But.
You know what Yeah, and I haven't had these in a long time. I used to always like those Doritos Cool Ranch.
Yes.
Do those exist? I think those might be gone.
What's the hot one?
The sweet chili heat.
Those are. No, that's where it's at. That's where it's at.
Ms. Vicky's has some nice sweet chili heat. Okay, but anyways, what I'm getting at is like I think that a guy like Kramer and a guy that really preaches investing, I think he's right. We talked about this again. We did our sort of, again, I don't know if it's number 7 or 8. We talked about what's going to work in the new year. No, but when we were doing those ones, you asked me what's going to work. I said healthcare, and I said NVIDIA, the same name, and that was at 480. It's now almost $100 higher, chilling around at 550. Let's call it $80, $70 higher. I still think it continues to work. I mean, here today, nice move down as people are looking at the charts, bounces around that 540 area, then straight back to 550. On the daily, I have the daily down there. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There it is, man, bouncing perfectly. Nice support down here. The 200 periods kicking up to 550 again. I mean, I like NVIDIA, and honestly, why bother to dabble anywhere else? I would do the SMH.
This point, no.
Yeah,
at this point.
I mean, you're right. I own AMD and NVIDIA. Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, why get fancy with Broadcom and all that? People, smarter individuals will know like what the next thing is. But you've seen. I mean, look at NVIDIA booming right at highs. Look at a name like Intel. You know, it's pulled off quite nicely. It's still down. I mean, it's down about 8% from its high of $52 down into $47, trying to find a base. But again, if you don't have the high performance chips that are going to be used in these large language models, then I don't know if you have the goods, and NVIDIA does. We wait for their reports.
We get announcements from all of these, Intel included, from CES this week. You're going to drive an AI-powered car.
Yeah.
That was Intel's big claim to fame this week at CES.
I thought there are those. What is full self-drive?
No. But I think it's everything. It's climate. It's radio. It's entertainment.
Doesn't that sound
direction? It's absolutely everything.
Does that sound amazing to you?
Was talking about. I don't know if I'm there yet. I got to be honest. I don't know if I'm
because of like safety.
Safety, definitely safety.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I think it's cool.
No, it's definitely cool. It's just, we'll see.
Remember that stat that we had that was like 5 million miles driven for one accident for full self-drive? I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Like when I get into my car is older model, but it's like the seat warmers go on if the temperature's under a certain thing. Like, so there is that kind of,
on their own.
Yeah, on their own already, you know, but so that's kind of stuff.
I mean, there's been, I used to have a SUV that had the automatic wipers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when it starts raining, the wipers just come on.
Yeah. I think like every car has that.
No,
right
I know, but it's, anyway, do we care?
No, we don't care that much about that. No, I think, look, Internet of Things.
Yeah.
We talk about that over and over again, man. There's fridges right now that, this is what my wife's bothering me right now about it. I don't know how much
you
it is.
want
I think
a
it's
fridge?
like 10 grand. No, a fridge it has cameras in it. And it knows
on
like.
the inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It knows like when you're out of milk, and it will just like be like, yo, you need milk, or you need the
future is now.
Cheese. Yes, it always, and it features tomorrow also.
I didn't get, we just renovated our place a couple of years ago. I didn't actually get a smart fridge.
Ouch. Did you get anything? What did you get? Anything?
A Fisher and Paykel.
That means, okay.
Shout out to Australia.
I mean, it sounds very expensive. I think you probably got a good one. Yeah, if you're made in Australia.
Made in
Come
Australia.
on, bro. It probably cost $1,000 to ship over here. What the hell are you doing?
It took long enough, that's for damn sure.
No, Internet of Things. I mean, I think it's really cool that you have, we all have Alexas in our, we all have systems like that in our, I don't want to say what it, because people are going to be like, oh, he said, okay, Google and all this stuff. And I don't have Google, so I'll just say that. Maybe yours is going to get going there. But no, isn't it really cool that you can, like, even for us, the kids, like, their lights in their room, we know when they're on because you can go on the app and we can turn them off ourselves, and you can, like, disconnect the internet, like everything. I think it's just, as efficiency goes through, it's better. It's better for all of us. It's more fun. You got to have fun in life, and technology is fun.
The really cool thing I like about those is if you're out at dinner, say, and it's cold or snowing or the weather has changed, before you even leave to go home, you can log on and, like, turn the heat up. Or in the summer, you can turn the air conditioning up.
Yeah.
So when you get there, it's already.
We literally, that's pretty much all that we use our little nest for there as well.
Great.
And another example was we had a friend. My daughter was sleeping over at a friend's house, and it was after a hockey game, so she didn't have any of her stuff.
Right.
So I was, like, messaging the dad, like, I'm coming over. I'm going to drop off her stuff and blah 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 blah. Anyways, they had gone out and they weren't home, but he could. So I was like, where am I going to leave this stuff? And he could see me on his phone. He opened the door, let me go in, put the stuff inside,
and then lock it.
And then he remotely locked it. You could see everything. So it's just kind of like, it's kind of cool. We could never do that. Like, remember when we were growing up, our parents were like, where are you? This and that. Like, now we know when our kids are home.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. I like it. I like all that stuff.
Do you remember at Halloween's way back in the day when you were a kid, your parents would literally open the door and say, be back by midnight?
Am I wrong to still do that now?
And then hope for the best?
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. It's kind of what I do for my kids right now.
Times have changed. Times have changed.
Let's
talk about Boeing, because this week was not good for Boeing, if you missed it. The 737 MAX 9. These videos are just...
You know what? I haven't seen them.
Really? Spend some time.
Why? What is it? What is it? What does it look like?
The plane is flying along.
No.
And the door is gone.
No.
Sean,
what? With people in the plane?
I didn't realize that you hadn't seen this.
But the people want to see.
Like, you can see the ground going by.
It's not like AI generated, like Boeing has, like, officially.
That's pretty messed up. The door literally fell out. And that was the Alaskan airline. And the part of this that really boggled my mind, and I'm not an airline expert or a plane expert by any means of the imagination, but the only reason that these doors were plugged, quote unquote plugged as they're calling it, is because that door did not align with the seating arrangement that these airlines wanted to have in the plane. So there would be a seat essentially right in front of where this door was created by Boeing in the actual plane. So therefore they were plugged. Now we have, this chart shows all of the ones that were...
Yeah, United is the one that's in problems.
All of the ones that were affected here. I think it was 171 total that are grounded. Mm-hmm. United the worst. Alaska is the one that had the problem in flight, and everyone was taking videos of it.
I wish I had more stats. I mean, you know how many planes or, trips there are every single day?
Oh, it's monstrous.
Like, I'm actually surprised we don't get more videos kind of just of, like, random things like that happening. But that's scary.
Did you hear about the guy in Toronto, by the way?
Oh, no. What?
The plane hadn't taken off, but...
A Boeing again?
It was at the gate, and somebody opened the door and jumped out onto the tarmac. It was like 20 feet to the ground. I don't know.
But you're allowed to open the door, no? Is it automatically locked unless it's...
In a plane?
Oh, but you said it was on the tarmac.
No, it was, but like the guy went to.
I just wonder if
one of the security doors opened it, and he was like,
people in Toronto
I'm not taking this plane. Jumped out 20 feet onto the tarmac. People are nuts.
Come on.
People are nuts.
I don't even know. Like, that just seems ridiculous. Like, maybe he lost a bet or something. He jumped out of the plane. No, I think it's just optics. I'm not worried about anything. As a Boeing investor, we had 8 straight weeks to the upside, and we ran into some resistance up here around just 270. And then now the bad news comes, and it's just see you later. I mean, I shorted that news, and we made a little bit of money on that. We have the 50 period, the 200 period down here at $200. We have some nice areas of support there. I think it falls in, and I think it's a buy opportunity. I mean, look. At the end of the day, it's a monopoly. You want to invest in monopolies? Yes, you do. And Boeing is still that. Are they going to have to probably pay the piper? I don't know. No one got hurt?
No, surprisingly, yeah.
Okay, so that's good.
At
some point, the FAA is going to approve them again, and then it starts to go back to the upside until another door falls off.
Or something else happens, because we all know this is not the first issue for Boeing, and even the past couple of years, there was a lot of analysts.
The thing is, nobody can do anything about it. You cannot just start making planes.
No, of course.
Right,
But there was
like,
a lot of analysts pointing to the fact that this could be reputational damage, permanent reputational damage for someone like a Boeing. Now that's doomsday speak and analyst speak for they want to buy
possibly lower
at lower prices, but we'll see.
It's still a big name, still tons of market cap on Boeing, and yeah, I mean, I think travel. We're all three of us, me, you, and Neil, are all traveling to Europe this summer or in and around there. So I mean, you're going to be on a plane. And
Probably at Boeing,
right? So are you not going? Or
no, of course I will. Of course I will. The good news, or the only positive, if there is any positive for us north of the border, no Air Canada
here's the
our
picture.
737 MAX 9s.
Oh, they're not?
None.
Okay.
Zero.
Here we go.
Yeah, there it is.
Here you go. So here's the
That was
door.
after a safe landing.
Here's the door. Like imagine you're
imagine sitting
I was going to
there.
say the same thing. That'd be kind of wild. Is that a lawsuit? Do you have like PTSD after that?
There's, I mean, we talked about it on the live show. Make sure you come join the live show. Hit the like and subscribe down below. Leave a comment as well.
Leave a comment. Let us know if you would still travel on a Boeing. Was 737 MAX 9 or was it?
Yeah, 737 MAX 9.
Yeah.
I mean, all the ones that Air Canada.
Neil said no. He on the show. I don't know.
Neil's not here to defend that, so whatever.
No, I'll ask him. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but he was just saying like he's definitely thinking twice about that. I just don't think we're there yet, nor do I think we have a choice. Because I just went back to him and said, "Are you driving home today or whatever?" Because no, honestly, there's like driving your car has so much danger involved. Yeah. Like for example, you could just be on a random highway and dude's tire pops off.
Exactly.
We see all the time.
See
all the time. Like some innocent bystander unfortunately loses their life or something happens where a tire just flying into them. I just think there's risk with everything in life.
For the most part, you mentioned going to Europe from Toronto or any major center in Canada. It's the 777 typically, and there's multiple different variations of that plane, the Boeing 777, that make those trips quite frequently. But anyways. Yeah, no 737 MAX 9s in operation from a Canadian carrier, but this is going to be a problem that they're going to have to deal with still.
Yeah, I mean, everyone listening is probably saying, who the hell cares about Canada?
Yeah.
And so let's just move on. What is our next topic? We want to talk about some Apple?
We care about Canada.
Oh, no, I care about Canada. I do too.
Yeah, I want to talk about Apple because this was pretty interesting this afternoon. There was a report suggesting 80,000 was the number I saw for the Vision Pro headset.
Yeah, buddy.
That's going to be the first go-around as far as deliveries for the headset is concerned, which is not a huge number. And this very well-known analyst on X was suggesting that those will sell out
on U.S. Steel?
In a couple of days.
X. Remember we had that story today about we were like...
He's going to buy this.
There was news on X, and it was like, Twitter? No, U.S. Steel.
Actual U.S. Steel. No, Elon will buy this symbol.
Look, we just talked about the same reason why I think travel is so hot right now. People are long on money, short on time. So what the heck is $3,500? Honestly, I feel ridiculous saying that. But like 1 week at Disney for your family is like 10 G's.
It's true.
Like just buy 3 Vision Pros and walk around Disney in your living room.
I looked up a vacation. I have no kids. I looked up a vacation for 4 days in the summer.
For Disney?
No.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not Disney.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It would have been $8,000 for 4 days.
Yeah, but Brendan, like you fly to like Fiji and all this crazy.
I've never been to Fiji.
Okay, well, fancy stuff, fancy exotic places. You know where I look up, man? I look up like
Bahamas.
Like Fort Lauderdale or something like that. You know, I'm like, yeah, let's go to Myrtle Beach, family. Let's go pack the bags. No, but great experience.
Yeah.
Vision Pro.
Oh, 100%.
Supposed to be.
100%.
I mean, do you think realistically, I mean, some of the pictures that we've seen, that sort of that release that they had, I thought it was pretty hot stuff. Like, I just feel that people want that experience. My kid has the first or the second Oculus, I don't know, not the newest one, and he's loving that thing. For me, the biggest concern would be the weight of it. We've had some stories that maybe it's a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
I don't like the story also that you have to get it like fitted.
That's kind of strange.
Feel like that's strange.
They'll get that figured out, I feel like.
I almost think like it should come with almost like a, I don't know, this is going to sound stupid, but like something like a beanie or something that you put on your head, and then you put the Oculus, the Vision Pro on top of that, and then that would stop it maybe from,
How much of this, though, you have to get it fit to your head is...
I feel like that's...
They want to get you in the store physically. sell you the maintenance, sell you the care, sell you the warranty, sell you all the other stuff that comes along with.
Yeah. I don't think it's as. I think that's a great idea to do that.
But also the experience. They want to make sure, because this is a brand new product.
I can see that.
Because it's
let me show you what you.
They want the experience to.
Man, how sick is it like that? You're going to be able to honestly sit center court at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And watch like a Knicks game just every day on your couch. You're not going to pay $35. Did you see some of those prices that you probably didn't, unless you saw it on Twitter? But the national championship football game, drinks. How much do you think? Actually, I don't remember where it was, but what, it was a huge stadium. How much do you think a drink?
Like adult beverages?
Yeah, adult beverages, and like a bigger one, like I don't know, but anyways, probably 2 or 3 shots of booze. What do you think that would cost? It's too bad I don't have the
more
the
or less than the ACC.
Yeah, it was $33.
Right. Yeah.
US for a drink. Now you're paying for the experience. That's fine. I get it, right? But as people will say, that's too much money. But what about then
for
like
a beer, say?
Yeah. It was like each national team had like their own drink. So like Michigan's was like blue with like, little gold flakes. It was like a very hoity-toity. Am I allowed to say that word? I don't even know what it means either. But I feel like
you just did. So
yeah, like when you're hoity-toity, like you're drinking like fancy things.
Yeah.
So
Bougie.
That's a good one. Anyways, so back to the Vision Pro. Look, I think it's going to be great. In 2016, so I did work, Brendan. I'm not just, you know what I mean? September.
Enlighten us.
Okay, hold on a second here. I did work, but I got to remain like this. Okay, what I want to get at here is I'm just getting this chart. Okay, here it is. So in September of 2016, Apple released their AirPods.
Yeah. 2016. Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it on here because this chart is a little bit too. Anyway, I have the stats. Who cares about the chart? Because
it's still a crazy move.
It's because in 2016, Apple was $30.
Right.
Split adjusted.
Yeah.
So when I have this weekly chart up, it looks ridiculous. Everyone thought people looked ridiculous with AirPods in their ears. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember everyone?
Yeah.
I remember the rhetoric was, and I even said to Marissa as well, you're going to lose those AirPods. Like as if something that doesn't have a wire is not going to get lost.
At all.
They're not attached to each other. This is literally the first time this happened.
How many have you been through?
I don't know. I probably not that many actually, because they're really solid.
Yeah.
I actually probably just a couple pairs. The idea, what I'm trying to get at here before I go on tangents like I always do, that added, it was $25. It added 20% in a month. Okay, so stock went up 20% on the release of AirPods. Everybody thought they were ridiculous. Everybody thought they were overpriced. Now, literally, you look on TV, everybody has them in their ears. Why? Because they look cool.
And they work well.
People are like, I don't want to have, well, every product, honestly, Apple, that's the one thing they're known for, whether or not you like Apple or not. Their phones fell out of a plane and apparently survived.
That's the other.
There's going to be, they have solid products, man. But anyways, now it's cool to do that. More stats. That's right. That's right, baby. We prepared. April of 2015.
Right.
What else was released by Apple? Look on your wrist. It was
the watch.
The watch. That went. Go ahead.
I was saying I have a Garmin.
Yeah, you have a Garmin, but that's the thing. They what they wound up doing there was normalizing wearables.
Yeah.
Like that started Fitbit. Everything started going. Everything started saying, okay, here comes Apple Watch. What can we do with that?
Wait, the watch was before?
No, but the watch was before. Yeah, the watch was 2015.
Really? I would not have guessed that.
That's why I'm here, to give stats and to give facts. Anyways, 15% in a month on that release. So I'm just saying, like,
either of which were $3,500,
but they were ridiculously priced.
Exactly. At the time, yeah.
I remember saying, like, you're not actually paying $200 for AirPods. Now, if you found the new AirPods for $200, you'd probably buy them like crazy because that's probably a great price.
Yeah.
So the thing is like the Oculus right now is $700 or $800. So you're going 3-4x, maybe more than that. I'm still not convinced that this final version, 3500, like they're gonna, like you said, they're making 80,000 units or whatever. Yeah. As that's
the first batch.
That's coming down.
Yeah.
That's coming down. So as they figure that all out, you know who I think is going to be a big beneficiary of this? Oh no, are we going to talk stock now?
Go for it.
Disney. Remember when they first started talking? I know, I'm a Disney shareholder, so I'm an idiot. But the thing about this all is
not investment advice.
No, it's not. It's not at all. It's just Disney has been underperforming the market for at least a year now.
Yep.
We have activists in there. And I just remember when they released the Vision Pro, they were talking about possible collaborations with various organizations. I believe they did get something. I have to look this up. I just think it would be really, really cool if they did something with Disney, if all of a sudden their first few games were Star Wars related or Marvel related. Those are big, huge businesses, big, huge flagships. And I think there is a point of Disney potentially catching some of this drift as people are talking about how cool the Vision Pro is and how some of the fun things to do are sports related, which is ESPN and ABC, that's Disney, and then also some of the gaming side of things. I think Disney can catch a little bit of that. Time will tell.
Imagine if you were on the plane with the door falling out with your...
I told you, PTSD, man. I might not work another day in my life.
With your Vision Pro on,
right?
Headphones
and
in.
not paying attention?
In the middle of the best movie you've ever seen on the Vision Pro on a 100-foot screen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Everyone's yelling and screaming on the plane around you. You have no concept of what is happening at all.
Yeah, that'd be
By the
wild.
way, side note, I think that's going to be one of the best uses for these things.
Watching movies.
Watching movies.
Yes.
You know, the 10-hour flight on an airplane becomes way more tolerable. Although I heard the battery is not that great.
I never thought about wearing a Vision Pro like on an airplane, but you're taking it to the whole new level.
Like
right
imagine
now.
watching a movie on an airplane on a 100-foot screen.
Imagine watching it in your living room.
On a 100-foot screen. But then you look to your
wicked
left
sound.
and the door is gone in the airplane.
Yeah, that'd be. Then you think it's part of the movie.
You think it's just part of
yes,
what's going
and then
on,
you're not scared about it. You think you're
everything's
like in
fine.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking about that, but. All right, let's talk layoffs because
I feel like we talked about Tom Cruise the other day on the show. Did we?
I think Sharif was talking about Top Gun a little bit.
Was it? Okay, somebody was. All right.
Did you like that movie?
I didn't even see the second one.
Really?
Oh, damn it. Why
didn't like
did you have to ask me that? People are going to be like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Like, I just watched Bitcoin. Did you watch that?
No.
It's number 7 on Netflix, man. Trending. It's about...
there was that story today.
Shoot, it was the credit card. It's called... maybe I should say this for one good thing, but I didn't do any... anyways, no, it was coins. Anyways, the guy just... It's a scam story. It's pretty fun to watch.
There was that story today that the ad tier is getting... people on average are watching 2 hours a day.
On Amazon, right?
No, on Netflix. Okay. Of the ad tier.
Right. 2
hours a day.
Is that a lot?
I don't have 2 hours a day to watch Netflix. Do you?
Yeah. You do too.
When?
I mean, when? Maybe not 2 hours in a row.
I'm not watching 2 hours a day of anything
No, I don't.
at this point.
Nah, I mean,
That's
most
a
people
long
do.
time.
But most people do. I'm
get it.
telling you, like, I just feel like basically streaming is just taking over, what do they call it, terrestrial cable, like old school. Like,
Yeah.
And think about it, like Seinfeld was a half hour, then people would watch Seinfeld, then Friends. That's an hour. Right? Ramin watched Beverly Hills 90210 or something like that. It's an hour show. Law and Order is an hour.
I feel like Ramin doesn't even know what Beverly Hills.
She doesn't.
Maybe the newer version.
Can you believe that Beverly Hills 90210, like, they were like full-blown adults playing like 15-year-olds, and it was just like, and people
for
were,
a long time.
People were like cool with that. No, it
never
seems
aged.
really, seems really
Let's
weird.
talk layoffs here quickly. Amazon and Google with the layoffs this week. Google is kind of surprising a little bit, I think. Came out of nowhere. But we started this conversation off with a talk about the overall economy. And a lot of people were pointing to this being the year that we see some sort of slowdown. Now we're seeing some tech layoffs coming through. We've heard about some financial sector, especially in this country, financial sector layoffs coming through.
It just goes back to everybody losing their jobs, dude. At some point, it's going to tip, I feel like. I don't know. Like, you're well paid at Google. The good thing about a lot of, I mean, I would assume you are. The good thing about a lot of this is there's going to be packages. I think Citigroup took like a $750 million write down for severance packages and things like that. That's good, great for employees. I just wonder when that money runs out in Silicon Valley and all that kind of stuff. And we talked about the consumer spending is through the roof. It's all great when you can pay the bills. But Google's bouncing its head on all-time highs again. So is Amazon. So I look at these companies and I say, good for us as shareholders. But is there something under there in the weeds? Remember why AI is so important: efficiency.
Yeah.
So if we're going to have
2023 the year of efficiency.
That was, and it kicked off by Meta going up by over 200% or whatever.
It's year 2 of the year of efficiency.
No, but you work the thing. It's like a catch-22. It's like when when things are going great in tech land, you want to be part of one of those businesses. You want to be employed at Google. Then all of a sudden, you do your job so well, and then now comes AI, and now comes potentially those programs that you helped write is writing your termination papers. Exactly. And it's nothing that you did. It's so much easier. Look, let's let the cat out of the bag. I mean, we use ChatGPT. If we read a story or something and we want to look at it, you want to analyze it, you want to go through numbers, you could put the report right into an AI platform and it spits out the key details for you. People write tweets with AI. Like, it's just, yeah. So I'm fine with it. You think Elon is going to bring back X?
Yes. This
I was worried about Grok.
Nippon, Japan's Nippon Steel,
is
buying U.S. steel.
Yes.
So when that goes away,
will that get approved?
They said today they're still expecting Q3, Q4 of this year.
Why is the U.S. government allowing a Japanese company to buy U.S. steel? Great for shareholders.
National security is
the
question. But
buy Palo Alto.
The CEO came out today actually and said they're still expecting Q3, Q4 it gets done.
I'm sure it'll be done. They haven't blocked. Japan is friendly skies. I feel like it'll be fine. But
if that happens, though, just to go back to Elon, if that happens, the company gets absorbed.
X is available.
U.S. Steel gets absorbed into Nippon Steel. Ta-da! Elon gets X.
Yeah. Elon probably is like funding this.
Called up the guy in Japan.
He's probably like, yo, I'll take half this down. We'll figure this symbol out.
I just need X. Any trades this week you want to talk about?
Okay, so we talked about this before, man. What about, you see that news at DocuSign there right at the end of the day there? I think that's a pretty interesting.
Oh, this is a good one.
I think that's a pretty interesting story. I mean, they, back in early December there, they gathered the team up and they started getting advisors of a potential buyout. Yeah. And the thing is, we had talked about this. It fell out of bed a little bit there at the beginning of the year, but it fell right back into 54, 55. And then today there's a report that, potentially
two firms
are going to get bought out, and it's always great when there's a fight.
Yeah.
So for me, I think you could buy DocuSign right here. Even if we go back in, I like the business. I think DocuSign continues to work. So that's a level for me right down in here. If you ever get anything to 55, 54 bucks, I really, really like it. You're not going to do that. So I think you buy it now, and I think you buy it with options. And I think you buy outdated. I don't know when this is going to happen. Why not buy some July calls, something like that, figure that out, get that going. I'm going to ask Daniel Shea about that next week. Maybe we can ask her about that when she's on the show. I'll ask her on the market recap. The other trade that I like, and I'm already in this name, I like Adobe down here. I just feel like with AI again, there's going to be people, and the reason why I do like this, and we did it on Canva Pro, but like my daughter came home, and I think I said this story again on the podcast, or maybe it was on the show. Everything kind of blurs together. By the way, like, subscribe, watch the show. She was doing a project for school and needed art done, a cover for the book that she was writing. It's like a 3-page thing. She's 9. And then she wanted girls, and it was even really cool. Like, honestly, bless her soul. Like, she goes to a very multicultural school, and so she wanted a girl of different colors available in the picture, because that her story had like a white, a brown, a black, and this is how they talk. Anyways, so all of that kind of stuff, and the AI was able to basically produce that.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's pretty wild that's happening. We had Michael Noss produce those kind of things. So anyways, Adobe, if you come back
we had to use like those crayons too.
Yeah, I still have crayons. I actually just bought my kids a pack of markers, because they still do that.
I was just going to say, yeah.
They still do it.
Oh, okay, good.
They're still art class.
It's been so long. I am so out of touch when it comes to what kids do, but anyway.
Have kids. Okay, so look at this. The reason why I like this Adobe, you still should. Okay, so 565, only because Brendan has too much free time. The guy doesn't even have 2 hours a day. What is he going to do with kids? You're going to have like minus 2 hours. No, but okay, just quickly, because you asked me for a trade idea. Okay, so Adobe fell back into past support at 571. I like it. It's taking out the 50-period moving average. This is a daily chart. It's 5 straight days of the upside. I like Adobe breaking. However, I'm going to find out, when are they reporting? They are reporting. Okay, well, that's a fail. It says it on here. I'll have to look it up. It says December 13th on Trade Ideas, so it's already reported. But anyways, nice move to the upside. So December 13th means we got at least another quarter. So we're going, I think that's either a mistake, but anyways, I like Adobe down there. And we always talk about Palantir. Palantir's been bought up a little bit recently. And you know what? Why not stamp a buy on Bitcoin right now? I think it's worth it. I think you can have that 45 area as potential support. With all of this news, the Bitcoin ETFs got released. We can now have outs on these coins, on these stocks.
Yeah.
Let it settle down. So I'm going to say by the time we do this podcast next week, I'm going to have a ETF that we prefer, and I'm going to say you buy it against whatever support is delivered to you this week, because why not?
And it wasn't an instant tank, as you said, you know?
The only fear about Bitcoin, Brendan, is, again, something happens overnight, and let's just say you're buying $41 because 40 is your level. If Bitcoin goes down 10% overnight because of something, then all of a sudden you're going to be, that ETF's going to open at 36. Like you're not going to have a chance to get out if anything dramatic happens over a weekend or something like that. You give me a pick. What do you
Agreed.
like?
I have a New Year's resolution, even though it's the 11th of January.
Wasn't it last week you said you didn't believe in them?
I have changed my mind.
Okay.
I now have a New Year's resolution.
Dang.
On the 11th of January. I'm not selling anything else this year.
Oh, good. I like it. Me too.
Here's why. This is XLK.
Every time you sell, it goes higher. I know.
I
Remember I was throwing
hold on,
shade at you for buying it back? It was the right play.
This is what happened. It was this day.
Let's see.
This is a daily chart. It was this day. I got out.
I remember that. You told me.
It broke support. I got out. It was 188. I got.
Yeah.
And I thought, great. I'm going to get more down at 180, 178, 180. I'll get back in. Now we're right back to the highs. I'm not selling anything.
Bro, I was like, remember, I kept saying every day on the show, I was like, yes, sir, I sold that video at 494 in your face. You know, it was down to 470. Can't wait to buy more at 450.
Hello, 550.
Oh, it's at 500. Oh, okay, I'll come back in. Oh, it's at 520. It'll come back in. Yeah, man, buy the best names.
I'm not selling anything.
And are we still buying every month, or we're just going to wait? Like, are we dollar cost averaging on a specific time?
Not necessarily on a specific time, but that's the part 2 of my New Year's resolution.
Yes.
Is not trying to time the market, but whenever the opportunity arises, put money to work. So here's my
like
question.
today at like 8:35 when the market was actually down, and then
Buy XOK.
yeah, buy XOK.
Here's the question I have for you, because I'm actually debating it right now, is do you buy this break?
On what is that market? Well, I don't know what stock is that?
193. XOK.
Oh,
I might actually do it.
I just so you want to buy the all-time high on the Nasdaq?
Well, it's tech. XOK is mostly, I mean, it's Apple, it's Microsoft, it's tech.
Yeah, what was wrong with me saying the Nasdaq?
It's not the entire, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
More focused.
I mean, as a question, do you buy it? Yeah. I don't know. All-time highs are only numbers. Because really,
Sure.
like, we want to buy names that are working.
Psychological, yeah.
Like, NVIDIA's all-time high was at 1.300. It was 350. Then it was 400. Then it just kept on going. So to answer your question, for me, no, because I'm waiting for the 31st. I really don't want to do anything until Fed.
It's a good point.
No, but I just think, I don't know.
I don't think we know, though, in this meeting.
When are we selling that buy? When you buy it.
Never. Sean,
So then the answer is yes.
I'm never selling ever again.
This year, you said. Any more this year, Brendan?
I'll preface that. Ever again.
Ever again.
Ever again. Why?
Well, there's seasonality. I mean, there is going to be a point.
Yawn. I want to look at it in 50 years and say...
50 years.
Wait, what? How old am I?
You'll live to 50. You're a healthy
30
individual.
years and say...
Yeah.
It was a good decision. I'm not selling.
It just depends if you need the money, and you may not. You know? Anyways, I think that's a good strategy.
But no, I was going to mention, I don't think we know in the 31st. I don't think Powell can say anything that's going to change...
He doesn't ever say
direction.
anything that really...
No, he doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. Like you said, let's wait until the 31st. But
Well, you saw what happened in October. I'm just saying...
What's going to happen on the 31st? Like, it's March that matters, I think.
I just worry about what the talk is going to be. And I just worry that they're going to say, hey, guys, we're happy with where we are. This dot plot, we're taking off a couple expectations.
2.5 weeks to go, and we shall find out.
That's a podcast.
What's good for you this week? Anything? We'll wrap it up with...
I got something.
Okay.
All right. because MLK Day is on Monday, and I didn't even realize that because I was like, I actually said to Marissa, I was like, oh man, I wish it was like an extra long weekend because I'm really busy this weekend we're going to be separated, her and I, because she's with my daughter who's doing one thing of hockey, and I'm up north with my son doing something else, and we won't reconvene until Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
a busy week.
yeah, so it's a very, very busy weekend. It might even be like Sunday afternoon. So I was like, oh man, it'd be really cool to have Monday off.
I won't tell you what I'm doing, by the way, but go ahead.
Fine. Okay, what do you? It doesn't matter. Okay,
No, it doesn't matter.
So the idea is, I mean, unless you're going to like some sort of a concert or something.
I'm going to a spa.
Spa? Okay, that's fine. So what I'm talking, no, I love going to spa. Which one? Hammam?
In Collingwood.
Oh, in Collingwood. Well, I'll be right near you. Yeah. Okay, so the idea, what I had was, how about this? Breakfast with their significant other.
I'm down.
So our plan is, I love going to breakfasts.
Oh, going out for breakfast.
Yes, going out for breakfast.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have said out.
Yeah.
No, or just sitting down and relax. So the reason why it's cool for me is because Monday, you don't have this problem, 99 problems, kids ain't one, is the kids aren't around on Monday because they're at school.
Perfect.
So we love going out and having breakfast.
What's your spot?
Even as a family. Well, we're going to a place called the Federal. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Not.
But there's a couple local places that we have near us that we really like. One's called the Cat. We really like. I hate Denny's. I don't like anything that's
There's
like.
a Denny's near you?
There is.
Really?
Very much so.
I've eaten at Denny's once in my life.
I like Denny's. I'm not throwing that shade. There's a place called Dirty Food in the Junction, which is amazing.
Is that on Bloor?
It's the Junction is Dundas, but yes.
Or Dundas, sorry.
It is right there, and it is fantastic.
I think I've
You
seen
should go 5,000%.
Okay.
But the reason why I think it's just so awesome is because, again, we normally go out with our kids, which is great times.
Yeah.
But now we just get to go out together. It's a lot of fun, and I think that's something pretty cool to do.
Completely agree.
Your one good thing is?
Sneaky D's is our go-to for
Yes, they have good nachos there.
weekend brunch as well.
Close to your place? That's a walk?
It's on the other corner.
Yes, it's a throw.
This. It's a bad image, but I have a book recommendation once again. I am reading this right now. Could I find a worse image, honestly?
I think we might have. I think my wife has that book.
Do Hard Things.
It's
Yeah,
not
no,
new.
it's great. No, it's not. It's been
Right.
out for a while, but I just got into. I saw it on a podcast that I was watching, and they said it was great, so I started listening to it. There's audiobooks as well, so it's easy.
Premise is.
I go to the gym, I jump on the treadmill, and I listen to.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of psychology in it, but they talk about football that you would love, and the state of college football specifically in the U.S. and how these kids are brought into an environment that is producing not the ideal end result
for the kid.
for the kid.
Right.
But it's not
for
about
the
that.
boosters. Yeah.
It's not about that. But then it ties it back into the business world, ties it back into everything. So it's
Okay.
it's
So I take it as like, do hard things so that you can excel.
right.
If you
and
only
and
do
the
easy
harder
things.
the things
Right.
you do,
Right.
the easier things become on a daily basis. So
I like it. I
Shout out
have to
to
apply that to
yeah.
trading. Make easier trades. That's going to be my book that I
don't
write.
do harder trades. No,
Make easy trades.
do easier trades.
Yeah.
Episode 9.
I like it. Thank
job.
you. Good one.
We'll see you all on Tuesday. Remember, Monday is a holiday.
I want to know what people's favorite things are. We're not getting enough comments in the
Yes,
chat.
go do that right now.
Yeah. What are
Leave
people's
a comment.
things
What
for
is
the
your
week?
one good thing for episode 9 of the Markets podcast?
Like, subscribe.
Thank you, sir.
That was long. Fun.
Bye, guys.
Ciao. That was our longest one.
We started like 4:25.
I always start like at 4:15.
4:20.